I think we live in very blessed times when we have so much information available and so many different tools and techniques for your self-development, for working on yourself and becoming a better person, connecting with yourself deeper. I still find tools and techniques that are new for me, and each of them brings their own piece of a puzzle for me to navigate the deep waters of my consciousness. Hi, my dear listener. I just finished playing a transformational game, Leela. And once again, I got my mind blown. So I'm excited to share with you my story of where I started, what Leela showed me, what processes I went through, and what was the key to unlocking my intention. I'm also going to talk about what was happening in my life in parallel with Leela processes. And maybe by the end of this episode, you will feel called to play Leela too. And I'm gonna leave you a contact of an incredible Leela guide who was guiding my game and who was holding space. And she takes experience of this game to another level, way deeper than an average guide. This is not a paid promotion. This is me sharing the people that are standing in their truth and the people that are passionate about their work. And by the way, she is guiding Leela games in both English and Russian. First of all, what is Leela? Leela is a board game that comes from ancient India. But it's not just a game of winning and losing. It's a transformational tool for you to connect deeper with your consciousness, to facilitate your spiritual growth and awareness, and to help you see what in your life needs to change in order for your desire, for your intention to come true. I know that people can play Leela in person or they can do it online. You can also do it one-on-one with your guide, or you can do it as a group. For example, you can gather your friends who are interested in exploring themselves and play together. Initially, I wanted to play one-on-one with a guide, dedicate the whole day to it, because sometimes this game can last up to 5, 6, 7, or 8 hours. I've heard of stories where people were playing for almost 24 hours with short breaks for sleep. And when I connected with Alia, she told me that she's starting a new group game in a hybrid format, which is her personal creation, her approach to this game for people that are very busy with their lives and cannot dedicate a whole day to just sitting and playing the game. And one of my friends has already signed up to play in this group. And because I like to stay open-minded, I thought that it was a good call for me to trust the process and participate in a group game instead. The benefit of participating in a group game is having other players serve as your mirror. Because there is a reason why we all got together on the same game field. And there might be certain messages that we need to tell each other in certain situations. Or you can catch your own patterns in another player. It's like doing yoga. You can do it by yourself and you're still going to get the benefits, or you can do it as a group, which will amplify the energy field around you. And same with any ritual. You can do it by yourself, or you can do it with a group where the energy is way stronger. And the beautiful thing about this format is that you take one step in the game per day. So you can combine it with your busy life. And at the same time, you have an opportunity to analyze every single step deeper, be more conscious with your process and the insights that you're getting. Spend some time reflecting on what Leela is trying to show you. I'm so grateful that I got to play my first Leela in this group, because it was something else. What's Leela looking like? It's a board game. It has 72 fields. Each field has its own meaning associated with different states of consciousness or stages in the human development. The game also has snakes and arrows, guiding players down or up and symbolizing challenges or growth. And how do you play it? You roll the dice. You can roll the real physical dice, or you can do it online. Nowadays, with technology, anything can be done online. We started from getting together on a Zoom call for a couple hours to do the breath work, short meditation, and get in the right state of mind before each player announced their intention for the game. In order for you to enter the game, you need to score 6 on your dice. That's the only way to enter the game. You announce your intention and you roll the dice. If you get 6, congratulations, you're in. But if you get any other number from 1 to 5, that means that your intention needs to be slightly adjusted. And you continue doing so until you get to the right statement for Leela to let you in. Because the purpose of this game is self-awareness and spiritual growth. It really teaches you to be honest with yourself. And it starts from identifying the right intention and being honest, first of all, with yourself. Is this really what you want? Is this really the right thing for you to be focusing on in this game? I didn't know how exactly to frame my intention. Here's what I said. I want a life in ease and luxury, but I'm not sure how exactly to get there. There are different options, and I'm doing a lot of things simultaneously. I do have a full-time corporate job, but I know that this is not the source of my easy, luxurious life, and that's not my future. I also have this podcast that I started 3 months ago, and it's slowly growing, but it takes a lot of time, effort, and my energy. There is also dance meditation that I created in 2021, and I'm in the process of bringing it back to life and starting events in Miami and online. There is social media, other things. I guess my intention was to understand what to focus on and what to prioritize to get in the desired state of life. From this entire list of my activities, the guide asked me to choose one that brings me the most fulfillment. And I said that there are 2 that are almost equal, but if I have to choose one, I would say that it's a dance meditation because I'm so deeply connected with the movement, with body, and I've been dancing my entire life. So that's where I feel like fish in a sea. And with that in mind, I announced my intention as following. What do I need to do for my dance meditation to become the source of my life in ease and luxury? And I rolled the dice. And guess what? From the first try, I get 6. And I'm in the game. I've heard stories where people spend a few hours just trying to enter the game, and the game won't let them in because of the wrong intention. My personal tip for you, if you decide to play Leela, get as honest as possible. That will save you a lot of time. My game lasted 8 days. And I was writing everything down. Having a journal throughout the game is so essential for you to connect the dots and to see your path, your patterns, and analyze everything. So I highly recommend, if possible, writing things down for you as you play. When we had our initial Zoom call on Sunday to kick off the game, we did some fire breathing from Kundalini Yoga to set the mood. And what I felt after the exercise was very interesting. My entire left side of my face and my head felt numb and frozen. And as you know, the left side represents the feminine energy within. So I realized that Leela will help me work with my feminine energy. And most likely the processes that I will be shown are related to my feminine energy. And most likely the roadblocks to my intention are connected to my feminine within. And with my first move, I landed on a square dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction with current state of things, chasing external things, illusion of the mind. And I was asked to reflect if there was a situation in my life within the past few weeks where I compared myself to someone else. And the idea was to remember that situation and flip the script. Instead of comparing myself and focusing on what I am missing compared to another person, I needed to write down the things that I have, my strengths that I should be focusing on. So that way I'm moving from feeling of lack to gratitude, from lack mentality to abundance mentality. And that was the first step on my Leela journey, which brought me to the next square. Feelings. Feelings are the essence of life. To allow yourself to feel is to let the energy move through you without getting stuck. What I'm not allowing myself to feel, what I'm trying not to feel, what I'm escaping from. What are the main three emotions that I'm feeling when I think about my intention? I felt pleasure, I felt sensuality, but at the same time, I felt imposter syndrome. All of it is great, but I still don't deserve it. How can I allow that emotion to move through me? What do I need to be doing to help myself feel that and release? And my answer was dancing and breathing. And it all comes back to my dance meditation. The insight that I received here is that I need to be dancing at least 10 minutes every single day, just by myself, just at home. But it's so essential to who I am that I need to be giving it to myself every single day. And after that important insight, I roll the dice and I get 6. When you get 6 in Leela, 2 things happen. First of all, 6 serves as a confirmation of your thoughts. Yes, you are interpreting the things right. You're moving in the right direction. Keep going. And the second thing that happens, because of that, you get to roll dice again. So you actually take 2 steps. And a very interesting chain happened here because I landed on the square of fantasies where I was asked to start dreaming big, to allow myself to create this dream life in ease and luxury in my head and write down what my life would look like and what a typical day in my life would look like. And from there, I land in a square of compassion, of understanding others and feeling others deeply, recognizing other people's emotions. What is compassion for me? My entire spiritual journey has been about understanding and accepting others as they are, through pain and love, through darkness and light, realizing that everything in this world deserves the right to be, because this reality is abundant and diverse. And my compassion is my power as transformational guide, as a dance meditation guide, because I have a natural ability of seeing through people, of feeling people on a deep emotional level, and that's my power. And in that state, I land on an arrow that brings me all the way up to creation. A state of mind where you realize that you are the creator of your reality, that you are the creator of your life. And I needed to find this connection between compassion and creation. How can compassion help me? How through dreaming big and being compassionate, I can land in a position where I truly feel like a creator of my own life, of my own reality. And this is a square number 69. The exit of the game is square number 68. So I passed the exit by 1 step and stayed in the game. Because there are only 72 squares on the field of the game, I needed to roll 3 on the dice in order for the game to let me back in. And this is where I got stuck a little bit in this spiritual realm, because if you look at the board of the game, there is a body drawn with chakras as energy centers of the body, and there are some squares outside of the body in the spiritual realm. And that's where I ended up, and that's where I got stuck a little bit, because it's super comfortable for me there. I'm very well connected in the spiritual realm. Everyone knows me there. I'm a frequent flyer and a platinum member of this club. Know everyone by the name, feel absolutely comfortable being there. But it would be nice to bring that back to earth, to materialize that, because we live on earth in this body, in this reality. And in order to come back to earth, I need to integrate my insights into my intention. What am I bringing back to earth after the journey that I just traveled through? What I'm gonna do with it? And I said that I'm gonna create a transformational program for women to become the best versions of themselves. And from that, I rolled 1 and moved only 1 step, which brought me to the energy of goodness. And the lesson here is that being a good girl does not mean being yourself. Removing perfectionism, allowing myself to make mistakes, allowing myself to be imperfect, allowing myself to learn from my mistakes, calling them experiences instead of mistakes, giving myself the right to do that. How can I add this to my intention? So I decided to change the word best versions of themselves to authentic versions of themselves, saying that I will create a transformational program for women to get back to their authentic selves. Doesn't matter what it's looking like, it matters what it feels like. And the same applies to my dance meditation. That's why my dance meditation is blindfolded. I roll the dice and it's 1 again. Leela is not letting me go back to earth. I'm still not there. There is something else that is missing from my intention. And I've been sitting for a while thinking about it, just reflecting. And when the guide asked me, what is one word that comes to your mind right now? What is missing in this whole statement? And it was love. I said love. I rolled the dice. And it brought me back to earth. And for me, it was about self-love, love for life, and being open to romantic love. And allowing an idea that the right man might show up and enter my life, and it's not going to destroy it. When I got back to earth, I said that the transformational program, the dance meditation, all of that will aim to open the heart, to help women feel love again. And from that, I move to water, the energy of water. And the water is so feminine, it's flowy. By the way, the name of my dance meditation is In Flow. And water is teaching us that there is a path of less resistance, that there is a way around things, that you need to be open-minded and flexible and be more in feminine energies. If you watched the previous episode, this is exactly what I was talking about there. I got to this square as I was editing that episode of the podcast. When the guide sent me the description of the square, I was literally sitting and editing the moment where I talk about the water and the flow. Isn't it mind-blowing how you get the answers when you're so connected to yourself and your consciousness is clean and clear and ready to receive? I fucking love it. I discovered that the key for me is to really be in the feminine energy even more in my daily life. Gentle, loving, enjoying, pleasure. And with that inside, I roll 6 again, which is a confirmation of my thoughts. The confirmation that, yes, girl, you're on the right track. And something funny happened here. I got so excited that, oh yes, I finally got it. I found the key, and soon I'll be able to return to my normal human life, exit my hermit mode, and go socialize. Because for the past 4 months, I've been mainly in solitude, mainly in my own internal process. And with that in mind, I roll the dice again and I land in reality, wrong thinking. I land on a snake and I roll down all the way to insignificance. It was a very unexpected turn of events for myself and for the guide because everything was so logical. I was moving in the right direction. I was getting confirmations from Leela by scoring 6 multiple times. And all of a sudden, I end up at the bottom again. Insignificance. I needed a moment to sit with it and reflect on that situation. What is it showing me? What pattern of my life can I see here? What's the connection? What is this about? You are almost there, doing the right thing, following your heart, following your intuition, and something happens and boom, all the way down. I think this is where I saw one of the main insights of this game for me. I saw the pattern that already happened twice in my life. And I'm in a situation right now where if I'm not conscious, it can happen the 3rd time. So I'm extremely grateful that I was able to catch it and notice it in such a right moment. Here's what I'm talking about. There were 2 times in the past 2.5 years where I was deep in the hermit mode, focused on self-transformation, growth, disconnecting from social life and the noise around me. And I went through tremendous transformations in this process of cocooning like a butterfly, metamorphosis. I've been there twice in the last 2.5 years, and I was getting somewhere. And in the very, very end, where I'm almost there, one step away from quantum leaping into something beautiful, I started self-sabotaging. In my case, it looked like, oh, I want to go back to normal human life. I want to start socializing again. And then my focus shifts. So I'm not giving my entire energy to myself and what I'm working on. I get distracted and I start sharing my energy with people around me. This already happened twice in the past 2.5 years. I was self-isolating from December 2022 to July 2023. And as a result of it, I started writing a book. And I was so inspired and I knew where I was going. But then I came back to a human life. I started socializing. I moved to Miami and that energy faded. So I ended up in self-isolation again from December 2023 until April 2024. And then I jumped back into social life. In June, I started dating. And again, I focused my energy not on myself. And the third time is a charm. So I'm not gonna let that happen again. Now I know that I have this tendency to self-sabotage. And I've been in self-isolation since December 2024. And it's beginning of April now. So I am approaching that moment where I'm ready to jump back into socializing and human life. But no, I need to stay here a little longer this time. Because I'm learning the lessons and I don't want to go another round. This is one of the major insights that Leela showed me. Wow. And if this episode caught your attention, there must be a reason for it. Because we are sacred mirrors for each other. Showing, reminding, helping understand our nature. Staying focused until I quantum leap. No right, no left. I am focused on me. My energy stays focused on me no matter what is going on in my external reality. And here I had an interesting exercise. I needed to write a letter to talk with emptiness. What's dying right now? My old story that I lived through in the past 33 years is over. I started writing this story with the first episode of this podcast, which I recorded on New Year's Eve. I'm still a new baby. I'm still being developed. I'm still creating this new chapter. I'm not here to try to fit my life into the box of societal standards. There is a reason why I've always felt different. There is a reason why I always felt like a black sheep. My life is not supposed to be normal. I'm here to create my own unique story, my own unique path that might be very different from societal standards. And I just need to stop fighting this. And my isolation is part of my story. It's an essential part of my story. Because only in isolation, only in silence, I can hear the true voice of myself. And connecting to that voice is essential for me and my future. Authenticity is the foundation of creation. And from that insight, I land into connections. What does it mean for me? What kind of connections in my life feed me, give me energy, and what kind of connections are taken away from me, exhausting me? Here's what I wrote. I like deep and meaningful connections with people. Quality over quantity. I love connections with people that are not afraid to go deeper and look beyond the external image of themselves and others. I love small groups and even better, hanging out one-on-one. Here's what drains me. Big crowds, superficial values, and disrespectful treatment of others. I don't like friends that are only there for the good times and disappear the moment you need their help. I get drained by the karmic connection with my mother, who has never accepted me the way I am. But despite that, I choose to be myself, and I know that my people will always find me. And on that note, I get 6, a confirmation, and I roll again, which brings me to given, balance, and purgatory. What is the connection between given and balance? For me, it was about equal give and take in any relationships, romantic, friendships, work relationships. I'm a big giver. I used to give a lot in all the relationships. And it was one of my main lessons in the past few years to learn to balance things out, to learn to give less when the amount of energy is not reciprocated, and not to blame another person for not giving as much as I did. Taking that responsibility and knowing that if I feel like I gave too much, it's my fault that I gave too much. I cannot control another person and the amount of the energy that they can give me. I can only control myself. Same with work. I used to be a horrible workaholic, losing myself in work, losing my health. And it was a journey for me to get to a point where I see work as work. And the purgatory is the place of transformation, that place where essential metamorphosis is happening. And transformation is my middle name at this point. As someone who has 4 Scorpio placements, I live like a phoenix. That's the story of my life. I burn and I get reborn. And every single time, stepping higher, getting closer to my higher self and to my dream life. And I feel pretty comfortable. And I've been through so many transformational rounds that it does feel like home at this point. It is my middle name. And I feel like in the past 3 years specifically, I gave a lot of myself to different people and situations. And I feel like I closed out a lot of karmic contracts in an express way. It was intense, but I really feel like I closed the last one in December. That's why there is this emptiness right now where the new story can be created. And I'm very grateful for this current transformation that I'm going through because it feels right. From there, I moved to the energy. What do I need to be doing with myself to maintain my energy levels? Because energy is the life force. And for me, that's a healthy sleep, balanced diet, regular gym, and dancing for my soul. The next stop is letting go of the old. And I understand that vibrationally, my life has transformed so much over the past few years. If I look back at the version of myself 3 years ago, I wouldn't even recognize myself. I feel like a completely different human being right now. But there is one element in my life still from the old vibrational life. One element that doesn't really fit into the new version of me anymore, but it has to be there for now. It's my corporate job. And with that inside, I rolled 6 again. And I was one step away from exiting the game, but it didn't let me go. And with my next moves, I came back to Earth. My second time coming back to Earth with those spiritual realizations. The next day, I was very confused. I didn't understand what else I needed to add to my intention, how else I needed to shift it for Leela to let me out. And I was taking a shower on Sunday night. Then when this beautiful insight landed in my mind, if I'm asking for ease and lightness in my life, in my external reality, it has to start within me. And I know myself that I can be a very serious, strict person that lacks internal ease and lightness. And if that's what I want my external reality to present to me, I need to cultivate that feeling within. And that was the final insight that I needed to have for Leela to let me out with the blessing to go and live my life with those realizations. Integrate them, implement them. But for that to happen, something needed to shift in my daily life. Here's what's been happening in my daily life as I was playing Leela for 8 days. The day that we started playing the game, and we did the breath work, and my chronic sinus infection got activated on one side. So the next day on Monday, I felt horrible physically. And also that was the day that a big shift happened in my corporate job, where the PR agency that was working for me for the past 3 years and the PR agency where I grew up as a professional many years ago. So I was deeply, deeply connected with them. They were let go. We stopped working with them. So for me, it felt like the end of an era because initially that was a very important element for me in taking that job. And now it's gone. And on Tuesday, as I was moving through emotions in the game, I woke up at 6 a.m. because I started sneezing nonstop and I just couldn't go back to sleep. So I was forced to go outside and greet the sunrise and have a very unexpected schedule of the day. I felt like all these blocks for my feminine energy were coming out from my nose, that I was working through something and releasing something on the spiritual, mental, and physical level. And that same day, 3 other things happened. I finally got a confirmation of the cool video shoot that we've been trying to plan for the past 2 months. I got a message from an old friend from Boston that I haven't heard from in 7 years. And he said that he saw my podcast and he wanted to talk about sponsorship opportunity. And on the 3rd, my friend messaged me and said, hey, let's go to the beach Thursday morning. Just skip a couple hours of work and enjoy. Lightness, ease, flexible schedule. And by the end of Tuesday, I was feeling so bad. I thought I'm gonna be laying down, completely sick the next day. And to my deepest surprise, on Wednesday, I woke up completely healthy, breathing normally. It never happened like that before with my sinus infections. And I go to the beach on Thursday morning and I have the best day. And I carry that energy into Friday and the weekend, showering myself with self-love, taking care of my body, taking care of my mind, spending quality time with myself. And then on Monday morning, this beautiful video shoot happens where I was wearing a dress made of fresh flowers, like a ballerina, and I was representing the element of air. And I felt so light and beautiful and feminine, moving with grace. And only after I lived through that feeling, through my body, I came back home and I finished the game. I needed to feel that state of being, that state of ease and lightness. And that was my final insight, the final key to the door of my life in ease and luxury. Lightness. Like a flower. Here's the implementation plan that I wrote for myself based on the insights that I received from Leela. I need a flexible schedule. I need to break the rules sometimes, and I need to skip a few hours of work and go do something fun. I need to think less. I need to feel more. And I created a mantra for myself. Every time when I catch myself being too serious, in order to bring myself back to the state of lightness, I'm gonna say, hihik, to be in my feminine energy all the time. Even in the times when I think I need to be masculine, I need to be feminine. It's mandatory for me in my case right now, period. Anything that I do must come from a place of self-love. To ask myself in every single situation, am I doing this from the place of love right now or not? Is this showing me love or not? And if not, why am I doing this? Go until the end. No self-sabotaging. Do not stop. You're almost there. We're going to the fucking moon. No compromises. I'm not settling down for less. I know what I deserve, and I'm not gonna stop until I'm there. Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure in every single situation in life. Wow, what a cool tool, right? You wanna give it a try? The link to my guide is in the description. Oh yes, and another insight, I decided that I wanted to buy myself a crown and wear it every day for at least 10 minutes. I actually completely forgot that it was on my head. Natural. I hope you all play Leela one day, and I hope you do it with Alia and the group. So you have this opportunity to really go deep and trust your intuition. Please, link in the description. Follow her, connect with her. She's incredible. I'm very grateful that I continue meeting the most incredible people on my path. On that note, have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.